You are so dumb. You are really dumb.
You are so dumb. You are really, really dumb. You like my little, my little 99-cent readers? I'm trying to be like Cheryl. What's happening? What's happening, good people? You guys know who it is, right? It's me, your homegirl, Ladosha Wright, aka Key Lolo, rocking the dollar store readers. They're just balling out here. I'm balling out here. And over here, y'all know who it is, right? Let me get my finger right. Hold up, y'all. Y'all just wait a minute. I see y'all coming on in. It's the one and only Cheryl Morrow, aka the Hair Oracle. That's right. We are 37 episodes in. Oh, wait, is it 38? Hold on. Y'all know, y'all like, look, Kilo, you should be having this together by now. I do. I look at it and then I get busy at work and then I'm like, which number was it again? Hold on. Where is that? It's somewhere in here. So we are, I can't find it, Cheryl. What episode is this?
Just say 37.
Okay, sure. Like, just say 37. I was going to say 37 because that's how old I am. Yeah, right. So what's happening, good people? How are you guys doing? I know y'all missed us on Monday. We could tell. Y'all was like, you know what? Mondays ain't the same unless we got Key Lolo and Cheryl in the chat. Boss, I'm looking for you. My boss is in the chat. Now, I've been working very hard, boss. And I've been looking for you. That's right. Cheryl said, y'all know what time it is. When you guys see Lavina Joseph come up in the chat, that is my boss, the one and only. She's really like half the reason why I'm like really doing what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? Because she's always checking up on me. What's up, Vaughn the beautician? How you doing out there? LB Lawana. Lawana was me and Lawana. We was already talking about box braids. What's up, WK? How you doing? Rotina, I miss you, Rotina. I know you're getting ready to go to bed because you got to get up and go to work tomorrow. So if everybody could just say, what's up to Rashida Ali? I'm ready to make me just want to come on and come to Atlanta. But Rashida said, forget all that. Drop the L's in the chat for my boss, Lavina Joseph. Hold on, boss. Boss, don't get offline. I can hear her now. She's so crazy. She's so crazy. She doesn't call me Ladosha. You know what she calls me?
Who?
Ladoskers. I'm sorry, boss. I love your accent. She's like, Ladoskers. I love her so much. Free Nelly at SBCglobal.net is in the chat. What's up, Sure, I think they ready to learn something today. We got Free Nelly is in the chat. Frida, I seen you at the hair salon. Come on and get your hair did, all right? I miss you, Frida. All right. So the chat is looking real good. It's going down tonight. We are talking about sick hair. Now, remember, May is Mental Health Month, and I know some of y'all like it's June is coming. Well, June ain't here yet. Just hold your panties, okay? I like saying that. Hold your panties. Hold your panties and then just slow down to 90. My mother used to say that, but you're going nowhere fast. I used to hate. Don't you hate when your parents say stuff like that?
Especially when it's true.
Yeah. Slow down to 90. You're going nowhere fast. Why do parents? They're just always so smart. Anywho, Yeah, so it's going down tonight as it's still mental health month, okay? And so tonight we're talking about sick hair because ain't nothing worse than you're feeling sick, right? And then your hair sick, and then your mind, it's just so much. So we're gonna work through that tonight. Look at Frida dropping all her business in the chat. She like, I'll be there tomorrow. All right, Frida, I want to see you in the chat. I hope you can do something about these braces because I'm telling you, I'm ready to.
I know. I know.
I
You're
just,
halfway. You're halfway there. You can't turn back now.
oh my gosh, this was like, I don't know. I talked about boss because my boss, we have them together. Lavina, I think you're right. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Anywho, so we have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful podcast tonight, and it is all about, medication and hair. It's one of those topics that, you know, cosmetology has taken a weird turn, where everybody is like now like hair doctors, especially under the guise of trichology. And so you have these people who are, professing to be able to, know what's wrong with you by looking at your hair and, and all this other stuff. So tonight, our aim is to speak, of course, professionally to the professionals and the hair aficionados. In case you're wondering, what is this podcast all about? That's what we're about. We're about telling the truth and just disclosing and trying to debunk and offer some truth when it comes to this thing called hair and particularly Afro hair. And so I'm Ladosha Wright, a licensed cosmetologist, and Cheryl Morrow is a cosmetic trichologist as well as the editor-in-chief of the SD Monitor News. And so we're just people who like really, 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 we're fed up with this bullshit about hair. I mean, people are just taking hair and they've gone crazy. As a matter of fact, I am going to drop in the link. I watched a podcast over on the pseudo killers, and it was about the unconscious community. And so they have, and sure, I think I actually dropped a comment in their chat that they should come over to our platform and maybe we can go over to theirs because they, like us, are really concerned about the pseudos, just really poisoning the Black community with a lot of made up stuff. And so tonight's topic, which is all about medication and hair, I can't tell you there's no more pseudo stuff when it comes to medication than when it comes down to hair. And so tonight we're going to be able to debunk some of that. Our book of the month, I got the book here. And then I also have our little image here is Louise Hay. And this one is Heal Your Body. And Cheryl and I say, hey guys, you must have this book, okay? So at your station, whether you're a barber, a cosmetologist, a nail tech, or esthetician, this is a great book. And we'll just highlight a page or two out of the book tonight as we talk about, medication and hair. But before we do that, let's get real. Cheryl, okay, you ready to get real? Because Cheryl and I went somewhere this week. We're going to tell you where we went, and we're going to have to do a special podcast about that, right, Cheryl? What you think?
Absolutely.
Cheryl said we must. All right, so let's get real right quick, and then we're going to tell you where Cheryl and I were earlier this week, and then we're going to hop right into the topic. So stick around, get your questions ready. We are so glad to see some wonderful people in the chat. We got a new cousin. I saw you, cousin. I know you didn't think I seen you, but I did. I seen you, Miss Delilah's iTunes. What's going on, Delilah's iTunes? We got to give you a big round of applause. We love when new family come through the chat because this is what we do here. We keep it 100. So welcome, welcome, welcome. That's a beautiful photo. So we're so glad to have you in the chat. Also, a super duper shout out again to Lawana. Glad to see you. Free Nally at sbcglobal.net. My boss Lavina is in the chat. Wike is in the chat. Vaughn the beautician, Rashida, and so many more that may not be dropping your names, but we're so glad to see you. So let's get right into some of these funny reels. We got two good reels, okay? So the first one, I thought, I kind of like to, just in no given order. But how about we start off with a real electric brush. Now we always like, do you shop online, Cheryl?
Amazon I tried to.
All right. If you shop online, drop a money bag in the chat. Now, I try to shop online, but y'all know I'm old school. I want my stuff right now. That's the problem I have. I'm hood. I don't trust. I'm like, they try to probably gonna keep my stuff. So I try to shop online. Okay. But hair care products, or maybe styling tools. So here we go. A
Mm.
real electric brush. You ready? Here we go. A real electric brush. Don't forget to drop some money bags in the chat if you shop online. Here we go. A real electric brush.
Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
I love TikTok. This is why my life has. I'm gonna tell you all the truth. My life is so dysfunctional. Since TikTok, I can't do anything. That TikTok, I'm addicted. I'm guilty. I don't want the government. I know the Chinese are stealing America's secrets. Let them have it. Good Lord, the comic relief is just. Did y'all see that? She was like, oh, she shopped on Temu. Has
Oh,
anybody in the? I'm scared to shop on Temu. Look at Latasha. She like, oh no. Oh my cousin, what's up, Nene Boo Boo? How you doing? Cheryl, have you shopped on Temu yet?
I have.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Oh,
Now I got.
well, like you said, it's come on. There's certain items. Go to the beauty supply.
Okay, now don't go online buying that stuff now, y'all. Come on now, cut that stuff out now, okay? So she Vine the beautician said, I'm on there shopping for clothes. Now I have bought some stuff off of Amazon, okay? I just with my cousin, every time we go to a party, right, Nene? My cousins will come in, Miranda, Nita, and they'll have something nice. And I'm like, where y'all get that from? They're like, I'm like, damn, Amazon. So the last time I saw them, I said, wait, don't tell me. They was like, I said, gosh. So Amazon does have nice clothes. So I agree with that one. Okay. Anitra says she shops on Temu. I haven't tried Temu yet. I don't. It takes too long. I be calling the FBI. All right. Okay. So here we go. Tonight's topic again, it's all about medication and hair, right? So here's a perfect segue into medication and hair as we discuss real hair growth. Here we go. Real hair growth.
Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
Now, what kind of medication is she taking that would make her hair grow all over her face, her body? So she's taking some medication and she's got hair growing up. I mean, she was like here, here, like all on her legs, her thighs. So medication is one of those things that really, really, really concerns people when it comes to their hair. When people are going to have surgery, right, Cheryl? The anesthesia, people say, the anesthesia like makes their hair dry. People who get those, how they put the little prongs and they do the test and they got to put them on your, they talk about that makes their hair come out. I know that's not a medication, but a medical procedure, or test rather, I should say test. So on this topic tonight, about medication and texture, and hair, I think this one is again is a really really big concern, because cosmetology and barbering doesn't necessarily talk too much about medication and hair, which leads me into what we did over the week on Monday, because we are concerned about cosmetologists and barbers and natural hairstylists who like to kind of tote the line of what we can and cannot do legally, especially when it comes to medication and hair. So Cheryl and I have been really, really, really working diligently to introduce a bill into Ohio about Afro hair science. And so Monday, Cheryl flew into Cleveland. We drove to Columbus and we met with both Republican and Democrat lawmakers. And so, Cheryl, I'm going to show some pictures, but can you share with everybody just your opinion about the experience that you had? Because y'all know me, I know that co-signing like she said, about this whole process of trying to introduce a law. While everybody's out here being pseudo, we're being real.
No, I think the lawmakers, surprisingly, the Republicans were very open to this. That was the Speaker of the House, and he actually pulled out a photo of one of his sons, and that was very interesting. And yes, he did have a hole full of curly hair, right? And I think we presented it in such a logical, kind of smooth way, and made our case to the point where they could understand that, okay, styling techniques is one level, right? Just one. But the knowledge to apply those things in a broader sense of really taking care of the 360 client, the whole person, not just some ideas, not just these wonderful hands that we're gifted with, but being gifted with the information and the knowledge as well to allow us to make sure that we do the care part of it. Right? And they were very receptive, yeah.
Right. And because this particular platform is is really geared towards the licensed professionals, I just want to let you guys know, I know you hear this over and over and over again, whether you're a licensed cosmetologist or even a customer, because you guys will see this too. You never know who's going to sit in that chair. Also, you never know who you are going to run into in the hair salon. And so this young lady here is former state senator Shirley Smith.
Oh yeah.
And she has been like a true I don't know what would you call Shirley? Like, I don't even want to call her like a guardian angel, but she's for the people. You know what I'm saying? She is for the people, and she's no longer a senator. But let me just tell you, well, let's share with them this woman's influence while we were there.
Yeah, she has been in the House of Representatives and in the Senate in the state of Ohio. Just well loved. Man, hanging out with her was a treat because she really took us through the halls of the Capitol in both buildings, going back and forth all day. And everybody wanted to pave a way to say, hey, Senator, and Representative Shirley Smith, oh my God, we missed you. And really wonderful to be escorted and to understand that process, because she's really has made an impact. She's a rock star on the Capitol.
Right. And so, yeah.
Remember her impact and her vision and the things she stood for. And it's ironclad, and it was just wonderful to be escorted to really get our vision placed in her hands, and for her to be able to mentor us, and that is Senator Upchurch there, very receptive to what we were talking about. He even had questions and he chimed in, very interested, and he understood that this is the missing component.
Yeah, he was ready to go. Like, well, when we gonna introduce it? Y'all got the LSC and y'all got the numbers, and very, very, very interesting. And then last but not least, we had
oh my God, that was the best.
Paula,
Senator, yeah,
Paula
Hicks?
Hickson
Hudson Hicks.
Hudson Hicks, okay.
Yeah.
Dynamic woman, proud graduate of Spelman. She was just floored. One of the things I just want to point out as we talk about this topic tonight of medication and hair, she talked about her hair issues, and she shared with us that her person was a trichologist. And so Cheryl and I took the liberty to explain to her, because she actually wanted to know, like, well, what's the difference between a cosmetologist and a trichologist? And Cheryl, take it away as we lead them into our 37th episode of medication and hair. So, because that's what people want to know. What is the difference between a trichologist and a cosmetologist? Because I'm not saying trichologists do this, okay? Because some cosmetologists do this as well. They play doctor over the hair. So share with them what you shared with her and her response.
Yeah. Oh, and once I gave her the history of the difference, and that trichology is born out of England. It's a European concept, a discipline that was created in Europe. And cosmetology is really kind of born on the plantations of America with the artistry. And then it dovetails into, of course, at the end of the Great Depression, they needed to license it and make it an actual career. But she was very taken back on just the histories of how they both started and how they now collide and how they come together. And her question was actually, well, then that means that cosmetologists can be trichologists. That trichologists may not be cosmetologists and barber stylists. And then too, I think we talked about a little bit about how all of it was started by barbering in the first place. But it was just very interesting to correct that for her, so she could make a different kind of set of questions, and how that could really orientate her in the conversation.
Yeah, and so she was definitely, on board and ready to, give this whole situation an honest to goodness try. So Cheryl and I were going to be very, very busy over the next month or so. And so we're going to need you guys' support and helping, get the word out about the textured hair science bill here in the state of Ohio. And then last but not least, a big, big, big birthday shout out. Look at this picture right here.
Oh my goodness.
Whoa! Look at Key Lolo, y'all. Look at
Key Lolo in the blue.
That's
Key Lolo in the blue.
Key Lolo in the blue. And Chrissy is in the white. And Chrissy is my childhood best friend of like over 44 years. Wow. Today is her birthday. Look at that old car in the back, that old Cutlass. I see that old Cutlass.
That burnt brown. Oh,
that's in the hood. That was down the way, as we say in Cleveland, down the way. And so it's Chrissy's 56th birthday, and there we are at 11 years old. And so here we are at 56 and 57. Oh, bam! I should not. And the same frame. You see that? Chrissy's always got my back. You see what I'm saying? So today is Chrissy's birthday.
Wait, over to the left, right?
Yeah. It's just amazing. So today is her birthday. So happy birthday. If you are blessed to have a friend as long as I've had Chrissy, then give your friend a hug because not many people get to have that all the way for 44 years. So happy birthday to Chrissy. So now let's hop into the topic of medication and hair. First things first, We just want to make this abundantly clear. What is it that cosmetologists, barbers, trichologists, natural hairstylists, locticians, braiders, um, yeah. So, what can they bring to the table and offer to their customers by way of understanding about medication and hair? Are they qualified to do it? Are they not? So let's just help everybody understand, where do we stand professionally and legally when it comes to talking to customers about medication and hair.
Right. I think the word is the difference is the word practice, right? No one stops you from knowing medicine. No one stops you from knowing anatomy. No one stops you from knowing the body systems and how they work together. No one is stopping you from knowing that. The key here is that you can't practice what school you don't go through. So you can read all the Grey's Anatomy books, you can read all that stuff. The point is that you're only certified and qualified to be a barber, cosmetologist, and natural hair practitioner and clinician and trichologist and all that stuff. That is a certified discipline. So you're certified to render services within that particular discipline. The difference is that you didn't go to medical school. You didn't go through 4 years of residency, 4 years of undergrad, medical school, and all that good stuff. So you don't have the certifications and the qualifications to practice that. But in your licensure, you do and can obtain the information. Make sure you're diagnosing skills, and then you go call and you partner, and always partner. And we always said that in other podcasts, partner with your chosen discipline that could also engage with you to make sure that your client has the coverage, the total coverage that they need to be able to get the best treatment for their condition and disorder. And so,
So now here's the thing. Now, you guys, now is the time to really, really, really ask any questions that you may have about this topic of medication and hair, because the thing that just jumps out to me the most, that I see a lot happening, particularly around natural hairstylists and trichologists. I don't know. I'm not saying cosmetologists don't. But I do see a lot of it being pushed. Now, it could just be, how those algorithms are. Mm-hmm. Okay. It's this whole thing about natural, like herbs, essential oils, so you'll see them saying, don't do this and then do that. So is a barber or a cosmetologist, are we allowed to recommend or suggest that a person replace or maybe just try something different by way of herbs, essential oils, either in tandem with medication or instead of medication? Can you talk about, should we be saying stuff like that? I hear it a lot. Professionally, I don't think we should, but I hear a lot of people telling people to put, tea tree oil on for this. And, I remember during the pandemic, everybody was echinacea and elderberry and all of this stuff instead of getting the vaccine. So can you talk about, should we be talking like that? And what about when customers say, I don't want to take the medication? And then, so talk about that a little bit too.
We can start with, because I know I have touched on it at the Afro Hair Science Summit, right? It is our responsibility as beauty professionals. And when I say beauty professionals, I'm talking about all y'all, right? Okay. Barbers and cosmetologists and natural hair care providers. We have to know where we begin and where we stop, and where they begin and where they, and medical doctors stop. Okay. And so everybody, just pay attention to go to the grocery store and the beauty supply. The grocery store is all your herbs, it's all your vitamins, it's all your first aids, all your pain meds, and things of that nature. What's not there is a narcotic, okay? Antibiotic, right? What's not there is retin-A or a steroid, but you do have acne therapeutics. So the difference between a cosmeceutical and a therapeutic, those are things that most likely will be over the counter, and they will be on your beauty supply counter. What will not be there, and they're in the pharmacy, will be in what we call a narcotic or an opioid or a steroid, something that has to be activated or has an active. And you don't see minoxidil, you don't see any hair growth things that have drugs or a steroid in it. So that's where it starts. Therapeutic. And the therapeutics are your essential oils and other things. Those are things that you can recommend and suggest because they can go buy them over the counter, OTC, right? Over the counter. But go ahead. I can't hear you. You're muted.
Sorry, guys. Y'all know how it is. What's on y'all, Mickey Lolo? So you're saying a hairstylist, like hair professionals can recommend. Okay.
They just don't. They can't. They may not be. Their knowledge may not be up to par to even. Probably their experience will probably say you need probably something more than that's when they have to go to a gynecologist or a dermatologist or some other kind of general practitioner to be able to suggest to them, this is what I found on the scalp and it looks like there is a bacterial or in fungal or something, and they may need a active, something much more to kill something. Okay, and not something to just stop a symptom. They may have a virus or a bacteria, and that is a communication. So therefore, the cosmetologist and barber stylist and natural hair care provider can be involved, and the trichologist can be involved in the care of the suggestion of that prescription, but they cannot write the actual med because the med is in the medical field. Which is
now, what about in lieu of? Because you hear a lot of people will say, "I'm not going to do this because I'm going to take a herb,
an herbal version,
right?" So, so what about those type? Because I'm concerned. What do you guys think? How many people in the chat are really pro herbs and essential oils over or in lieu of their medication? Because I do hear a lot of that, when it comes to, taking medication, and I just don't think we should be saying that, but
Well, you have to also remember that, we may have, let's just say we have, you guys think that you have a fungal, or let's just say, alopecia areata, right? And something happens because you have some kind of hormonal reaction. Well, that's systemic. It may show up on the outer part of the body, and that's the hair that you're doing. The problem.
But do you think licensed professionals know this stuff, Cheryl?
Yes, they did. Well, they should. They should be pre-dermatology, because pre-dermatology is connected to disorder and conditions and viral and bacterial kind of hormonal things that can show up on the skin. And because you're working on the skin, estheticians have to know that. They cannot be doing facials over contact dermatitis. And things that could get into their fingernails and get into their skin. You have to be able to know a light, intermediate. In my opinion, I teach it anyway because you should know it. In my opinion,
okay.
Really, nothing stopping you from knowing it. The key here is to know when an herbal or an essential oil essential oils are not conducive for skin, for skin. And you have to understand when you have, do you have a virus versus bacteria, or you have an outbreak, or you have an anaphylactic kind of outbreak, like what they say, poison ivy, or you have some kind of, let's say, you have a food allergy, and it comes on the skin, and you're doing and washing, her hair, and then you go in there and put oil on.
Okay. Okay.
Know what to put oil on and what not to put oil on, what to put a water base on versus an oil base of something. And you have to know that essential oils burn the skin. They're very
Yeah.
and
So
so
you're saying like within reason, you guys, the cosmetologist, the technician, we're just gonna say the technician.
mhm,
So the technician within reason, you feel they have the ability to make the assessment and discern,
mhm,
what's okay, what's not okay, but under no circumstances should they be playing doctor trying to diagnose anything. We know they can't write prescriptions, that's a given, but
mhm.
they should not be
You can't write
trying
a
to.
prescription for a med that has that falls under what we call a medication. Medications usually OTC, over the counter, if you are very versed in herbal, organics, and natural sources. Those are all three different things. They're not the same thing. Most
Okay.
people think they are,
All
but
right, so this is a little sophisticated, this is a very sophisticated topic here. I thought it was just going to be, kind of like on the surface,
right.
but it's a little bit deeper to what you're saying. Now, if you are a cosmetologist or a technician, rather, in the chat, and you have any questions about things you see behind the chair or lying on the table, now is the time to really, pick the Hair Oracle's brain, and we're going to move a little bit over. Now we understand the parameters under which we can, talk and not talk. And as she said, we can prescribe our own things, like our own shampoos and scalp treatments and facial cleansers and things of that nature. But what we can't do is be trying to write a actual prescription, which we know we can't do that.
No home
So
concoctions.
yeah, don't be up there talking about go mix up some stuff with some elderberries. I see you out with a little water. Said, hold on, Ladosha, because elderberry ain't never helped me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So don't do those types of things. Okay. Now let's move into. Oh, hold on, y'all. It's the birthday girl. There she is.
hey,
Everybody,
hey, hey,
happy
hey, hey, hey,
birthday!
hey, y'all, hey, y'all.
Go shorty, it's your birthday. There she is. There's Chrissy, my BFF. All right. Okay, so now let's move a little bit more into the topic, all about medication and hair. So, what is it about medication that really affects hair? Like, are there certain types of medication? What is it about hair that seems to act real funny when you take medications? Why is that a side effect for a lot of medication? You will hear hair loss, is the issue, hair shedding. What is that all about?
Mhm. Hair actually is one of the least most necessary things on your whole entire anatomy, right?
Hold on.
What you talking about, Willis?
How'd you just go say that, y'all?
Well,
Hair is the least likeliest. Oh, what you saying,
well,
Cheryl?
and the point I'm making, which means that hair is then, because it's not really important to your bodily system's survival, it's part of what you call the ecosystem, right? And so the outer parts of your body begin to be your ecosystem. So one of the things that your equilibrium could be off and your immune system is off, or you could be probably what they call in the medical world septic, or you having fever or inflammation, or there's an invader, or the immune system is compromised in some way. Well, then the ecosystem begins to tell you. And it tells you with your hair, tells you with your skin colors, it tells you with the whites of your eyes, it tells you with your fingernail color, it tells you with um, your hands or your skin, the way you feel, your fatigue, or you. So it settles on your ecosystem, and hair is one of those indicators that something could be compromised, because hair in all of your bodies is a computer and it works on resources. And so your immune system is the one that discriminates on who gets what body, what cell division happens, what cell division slows down, what gets sped up. And then hopefully your whole body is in what? Homeostasis. And then you look so vibrant. So that means it's an ecosystem that, wow, she's healthy, he's healthy. Everything, his hair so thick. Now, hereditary does play a part, but that is why hair is so singularly so important to when doctors start determining, something could be off. And that's
Now,
why.
I will say that now, things that we see in the hair salon that I will like. I recall one time, my former boss, Valerie Hicks, came to get her hair, style, and so I shampooed it, conditioned it, cleansed it, and her hair was just coming out like profusely, like he would just like kind of tug, and then the hair would just come out. And I was telling her, like, this is not normal. And she kept saying, oh, yes, my hair always does that. I just went to the doctor. I had my,
She
physical,
didn't have a talk
you
with you.
know. And so I suggested that she go back to the doctor, and maybe they had missed something, because hair just doesn't come out like that. So so let's talk a little bit about that. How What is it about the hair? Because people, like she just said, oh well, it's been doing, it's always done that. So when should people really be concerned when they see the hair, coming out? Is it just the hair? Is it the eyebrows, the eyelashes? So when is that really a red flag?
Well, at that point, even when we are probably, I don't know what process you set the shampoo bowl, right? And we needed to sit down because something changed. She either the stress in her life, and let me just say this: you could actually be on high blood pressure medicine, right? Hypertension, right? Those are meds that actually try to condense the blood capillaries and lower your blood pressure, right? And contract the blood vessels, right? And
Mm-hmm.
she could have been taking that for years. She didn't notice that she could have something happened, or something in the environment that could have set the body on a wholly different track to react to a medication that she's been taking for the last
Oh,
2 years, right?
okay.
But something that happens in the consultation talk. And one of the things that we teach at the Afro Hair Science Summit, we haven't talked about how to do a consultation to get the information out of the client, because they don't want to be forthcoming. Now,
Mm.
that is, let's just say, for instance, a hormonal change, right? And then on an overactive a thyroid will create what we call a different texture, and then hair thinning. Under
Hmm.
thyroid issues would probably cause a total hair loss.
It's funny because she that's what she had. She had a thyroid condition.
Oh, okay. And
Hmm.
let me just say this: all technicians, you'll get very good at hearing symptoms and start matching them with certain uh, meds. And you have to be a little firm and forthcoming with your client so you can extract that information, because it could be contraceptive. And I deal with not the individual medicines per se, but it's just cosmetologists and technicians. We can just stay category. You don't necessarily have to know the names of the specific medications.
Oh, that's where I was going next. Do we need to know
Right,
anything about those medications? And you're
right.
saying,
You need to know categories. So just know cholesterol has hair loss indication, thyroid, hormones, endocrine inducing, contraceptives, um, high blood pressure meds, okay, antidepressants, right,
mm-hmm,
coagulants. Uh, all just know the category. You don't necessarily know
mm-hmm.
is taking a
So Vaughn
trichology
wants to
product.
know if would taking trichology help with that assessing. I think is that what you're asking, Vaughn, the
Yeah.
beautician, would trichology taking a course in
Mm,
trichology help?
it depends on the course, but here's the thing. The reason why I created cosmetic trichology is because I want to take the world of of dermatology slash pharmacology slash trichology, and I want to create it to where it's conducive to the person that's actually behind the chair, because now you can use it behind your chair. Don't necessarily gives you, obviously, the whole green light to go in prescribing, and but it gives you better home skills to prognose and diagnose, so you can understand at least. Because if the client is clueless, it's up to you to guide and steer them to say, I think you should go to your gynecologist instead of your dermatologist, or go to your
Hmm.
dermatologist versus your go see your primary caretaker and go get some more blood work, because the ecosystem, the outer skin, you doesn't look the right color, you're not the skin's not smelling the same, or something is off in the hair, because hair loss is usually in two phases. Okay, it's in the anagenic stage where it's not normal and it's not just a condition or disorder. The telegenic hair loss is usually where you go see your dermatologist, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when you have the anagenic and it's really coming out, and it's coming out clean to the point where it's leaving the scalp clean, that is probably systemic, and probably your meds. And it usually is the very clean anagenic hair loss is where you get into your chemos and your
Mm-hmm.
oncology issues. Um,
Right
so
now, so now when it comes to the trichology, right? So you're going to take the trichology. Uh, are they going to take your course or trichology course? Because Vaughn was saying in the chat that could lead to another profession. I mean, and then you have some people who are like, I'm just going to Google it. I'm just going to go on YouTube.
mhm.
So where are the professionals to go to get more education? Because cosmetology is going to be like first barber school, So where can they go, and how does because we do have hair aficionados in the chat. So how does the consumer know who's qualified to help them with problems with their hair, and even make a recommendation, like you said, gynecologist or endocrinologist? So can you give us both
Right.
sides of it?
Well, let's just be honest. If a technician, regardless if they're a barber, what does it make a difference? I can't control where you get your cert from, right? The missing element for me is for me to make those disciplines, like a little bit of hormonal education, trichology education, a little dermatology 101, to make it conducive to where you can use it behind your chair. Those other classes and courses don't care about how you use it behind your chair. They're giving you straight textbook and you're writing a bunch of notes and you don't know how to implement it. And you don't know how to create the relationship with the client to the point where you can get really good at just hearing something and then just seeing something. That is where the Afro hair science, in my opinion, it trumps all of them, because I want you to be able to have a good set of skills in terms of understanding what you're seeing, how you determine and come up with your diagnosis. So even when she comes or he comes back to your chair, things have to click, make sense, and then you have to what? Here's the good part. The dermatologist, and the endocrinologist and the gynecologist can only prescribe meds.
Mm-hmm.
But it's your beauty regimen on how that person's going to deal with the scalp and hair and how she gets back to recovery. Because the dermatologist and the endocrinologist and her gynecologist is not responsible for that. They can
And
actually do less.
and I think that's a really Yeah, I think that's really important that you said that, because a lot of times when people are not feeling well, right, and they're taking medications and they start to see and experience any form of hair loss, it could be subtle or it could be a lot. They just almost give up on the hair in its entirety. And
Mhm.
so, our job as professionals is to really help you guys not do that. So, just because you are having some side effects with your hair, it doesn't mean it's like all over, right? And it doesn't mean that there's nothing that can be done. And it doesn't always mean that you're going to lose all of your hair and that it won't come back. So, can you speak a little bit more to that? Because again, we are on our 37th episode, and it's really, really important that you guys know that this is what this platform is all about. You
Mhm.
know, clearing up all the confusion and letting you guys know that as licensed professionals, we don't just do your hair, we do a lot more. And our main reason for going to Columbus is to really push more Afro hair science, because the hairstyling is not always fitting and consumers are getting a little bit more concerned. So, Cheryl, just a little bit more about, what happens when your hair is coming out and why you should not just give up. And then Latanya has a wonderful comment that I want to share in the chat as well.
And I think too, at the same time, you're giving them a real constructive plan to recovery. You are making the client bridge their medication to create a very good protocol. Maybe you can also sit down with them and get them a therapeutic, which is right side part of their medication. Don't have to replace it, but you also can give them therapeutic suggestions as they sit beside the medications that they're taking, right? But your responsibility is to fit a hair regimen in between that. This is what
Hmm.
we're going to do every 2 weeks. We're going to be doing scalp manipulations, and then I'm going to not do so much protein during your recovery, because we don't want the hair and to be too hard or too fortified, and we want to create a very, and then they want to look good, and
Right.
you have
Yeah, it's always about looking good now.
right, and then you have to make sure that you are taking time in between maybe a couple of those visits every 2 weeks. One of those visits, we're going to start out with a consultation. We're going to talk about it,
Right, right, right,
because
right.
I have to make sure that they're psychologically in the game, that they don't give up, and that they can be optimistic. Also, hair loss takes a toll on your level of intimacy. I want to make sure that you're not withdrawn and you're not interacting with the world or your spouse, or sometimes I used to counsel the spouse, because they need to be sensitive, and there's a level of sensitivity and time to where, because beauty is not just, it's well-being. And since
Hmm.
it's mental health month, it is a very stressed medication that changes what they call the biochemistry. Med
Wow.
change the biochemistry, and it changes your attitude and your mental capacity. And so the cosmetologists and the barber stylists and especially natural hair care providers, you guys have to be the under and supporting actor here. And it's a very important role because they really want to be spoken to in optimistic
You're
terms.
right. Absolutely, absolutely. Before we go to Latanya's topic, Cheryl, can you show them how to hit that thumbs up button? Because the chat is pretty full and we want to continue to have more wonderful people come and join us right here on Planet Pluto Pseudo. So all you have to do right now, Cheryl's going to show you how to do it. So show them how to show us.
Come on, y'all.
Do
Hit
this right now.
button. Come on, y'all.
Pampa me on, pampa me on.
All right, that's right. Okay, we saw those hearts go up. We appreciate that so very, very much. And so again, we are talking about medication and hair, and we hope you guys are starting to see that as licensed professionals, there is a nice connection between us and your actual, doctor, and what we could do some wonderful things to help you keep your hair. You don't have to give up. And here, Latanya, I'm just really, really loving this. Her comment, and she says she loves the conversation because it all stems from going back to your cosmetology book of knowing the systems and the outcomes and how to identify and refer. A lot of times people really, really think, you guys are just some bimbos. You're the profession to go when you don't want to go to college. Mm-hmm. You're the profession to go to if you're a drug addict. You're the profession to go to if you've been to jail. And that's true. That is true. There's a lot of people in recovery.
It didn't used to be true.
Right.
Because those classes were not in the prison system and in high school as an elective. You actually really had to go. And they were really quite technical back in between 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s. They were very technical.
Right. And we have, and those people are in other lines of work as well. But what we want you guys to know is that, how I think it was Big Bang Hank said, it ain't where you're from, it's where you're at.
Right.
All right. And so to be a cosmetologist, you have to go to school. And I am not anti anybody, taking their own time, like Cheryl said, to get some more information, but you've got to get the education. And I think Vaughn, the beautician, is making some wonderful points in the chat about, number one, leveling up your education. Number two, it could lead to a new profession. If you're tired of just doing hair, Cheryl is sharing with you right now, this is another thing that you can do to help people mitigate that hair loss that could be temporarily. It may be permanent. It may come back. It may not. But consumers are really looking for people who do more than just hair. And barbers, cosmetologists, natural hairstylists, we're the people who can help them out. But we can't do that if we don't get any education. And this is why Cheryl and I went down to Columbus to say it's time to level up the industry and take that antiquated portion of that cosmetology and let's fuse in some newer things like Afro hair or texture hair science to help be able to meet the demands of what the marketplace is looking for. And as you can see by the large number of people who are in the chat, this medication and hair is a very, very big concern. So let's go a little bit more. Can medication make your hair sick? Or is your hair already sick before you got the medication? Because some people, so talk about that because that's your little poster there. So can medication, does it make hair sick and skin just sick?
I always tell my students, and they are very experienced hair professionals by the time they come to me, that hair is wet first. Hair is wet first, meaning it's a hormonal cell. It's a cell, right? It's not a horny thing, hard thing that comes out of, your scalp so hard and coarse. And what makes a a keratin fiber is so much hormonal material. And so what is collected in that, usually as it begins to grow upward and stack, and that's where we call that real poly chain, right? It's that cell, it's almost like that, like a ladder, like a
ladder, steps in the ladder.
yeah, good. Thanks for that. And so what is collected in that is locked forever, right? Or that is why when they do pluck that particular hair bulb and they do put it in that solution, and whatever has been collected in that particular genetic material, it does, can't have a real genetic and bio story. And so once you understand how hair is created, and it's a wet, liquidy, hormonal mass of cells, once you understand that, I think that at that point, what is in your hormonal waters and in your bodily fluids, that is where how the medicines are traveling to various tissues, and how it is affecting your blood pressure and all of that. And all of that traffic is being directed by your immune system. So that basically.
That was the bomb, Cheryl. You dropped the bomb on that, because I don't really think we truly understand, how the interplay that comes into play when it comes to medication in our hair. I think that when people start to see the hair come out, the first thing is, I'm going to stop taking the medication. Or I'm going to cut it off, because you see all these videos about just cutting it off. Now, there are some certain circumstances where that is an option, but a lot of times it's not. You don't have to do it. And Theophilus in the chat, saying, hey guys, you got to get that maintenance together. So the points that you're making is like really, really, really important, because a lot of people don't understand the intricacies, like you said, that hormonal or soup, or just all the stuff that's taken inside the body before you see this. Because people, your hair is just so, this doesn't just happen naturally, guys. You got to work this a little bit more, right, Cheryl?
Yeah. And I think even like most people will say, I went into surgery, a brunette, and 2 weeks later I come out and my hair is graying. That is because your immune system decided to shut down your melanocyte in your dermis, because it has to reserve resources. So it don't have resources to give you to cut that melanocyte on, because it said we got to reserve some resources. Okay, chemotherapy, we got to reserve some damn resources here. You don't get no eyebrows, you don't get no hair, you don't get all of that vibrant, all that, because the body's beauty elements like hair and skin and color, eyes, and all those fabulous, long, thick, wonderful, youthy, growing, glowing skin, nails, and the immune system is choosing what to allocate the resources for that particular cell growth again.
And with that being said, no amount of essential oils, herbal concoctions, greases and coconuts and all of these biotin complex, it's not going to work, because he just told you there's an intelligent system that's taking place, and it's making the choices for your hair, not the cosmetologist. Now, can we do some things when it comes back in? Well, now we're cooking with gas, okay?
Right.
Not now, guys.
Like you're adding some tea tree. That's fine, but I don't have nothing to do with that. That's fine. It's not going to hurt. It's not going to help. But I have to construct and win the time that I'm going to cut back on that system. And the wonderful thing is that when they do cut the system back on, the hair doesn't come back dominant. It comes back slowly, which means vellus, thin, feathery, light, little
Okay, we got a
it's
okay, we
right.
got a
But go
okay, we
ahead.
have a question. We got a question here. So if essential oils can't wave the magic wand, then he says, so then what are essential oils good for then? If we can't, if a licensed professional should not be telling a person, your body is making a choice between, cancer keeping you alive and kicking the hair out, so other medications can work to keep you alive. And the person says, well, I want to tell my customer or my client to take or use essential oils instead of. So then what are they good for if they can't do that?
Essential oil. I don't want you guys to always remember this. All oils, unless it is a bacteria or something prevalent on the skin, a scar, wound healing, something that is happening on the skin. At that point, mix an essential oil with a carrier, then it may aid, assist in the wound healing process, or remove a pathogen. Okay. But at the time of redness, inflammation, itchy, and things of that that the immune system has already deployed histamine. It's already deployed its version of elixir. What you can do is just help, but it is not the essential part of the wound healing, because the wound healing from the inside has its own sets of medicines to make the wound healing process. You're just maybe helping it. It helps your eye, your ego, and it does all of that. However, all oils, listen, people, all oils are supposed to pass through the liver. The liver creates the metabolic process and starts distributing things, because oils have nutrients that the skin can't extract, because the skin doesn't have a system to be able to. The skin is not a manufacturer. That's your systemic organs. Okay. Your skin is a barrier, in your dermis and all of the other subsequent layers inside is where the manufacturing and the cells and all the ligands and epidermis and things of that nature and all your stratums, they have their own job. You interfering with it and dealing with it essential is there to just keep it clean, keep any bacteria or anything from entering, because foils are barriers. It doesn't let moisture in, doesn't let moisture out. So, but as long as you're working you're working in concert, all of that is cute, and it does help, but it is not essential to get the wound healing process to close up the wound and all of the and the scab.
Well,
Playing good.
I'm going to say you deserve a standing ovation on that one, because that was some kick ass. Remember that? Yes. Explanation when she says it doesn't matter what you think you're doing with all of these concoctions and taking all of these herbal and all this other stuff, because the immune system already has that. It's already done its job. The minute you start itching and the redness, you know what? You're just kind of,
Right.
you're just
Because by the time, let's say you sprain your ankle, right? What do you think the immune system's gonna do? It ain't waiting for you. It ain't waiting for you to get to the ice. It ain't waiting for your brain. It's gonna what? Swell. Because that means that the body has deployed some kind of hormone that says injury, the tissue's either torn or something there. You broke, you kind of fractured something.
wait a minute. The body, it ain't waiting on you to go see Dr. Sabi now. Don't stop me going over to them YouTube channels watching that stuff.
Right.
Now.
And
the
by
body
the time,
is already
right. And by that time that histamine has seeped in that tissue, and that ankle, it's got that puffy kind of liquid in there, baby, you in for the long haul. And that's why most
y'all don't be doing no insurrections on them heads, okay? Y'all stop trying to overthrow the immune system, okay?
And let me just say this: Shan is correct. When you do have a compromise immune system, that is probably time when you want to deal with a systemic aid. That it could be homeopathic. I'm not saying that the nature doesn't work, because nature got it going on too. However, it's just that most times those two kind of skill sets are in a nutritionist and a homeopathic. And then if it is severe, called infection, come on, y'all, go to your doctor and get and fight the infection, because you don't want to get septic. You don't, you know what I mean? Gangrene and things of that nature. You don't want to deal with that.
Wow, that's deep. Okay. All right, we're doing good. We're doing good. So now we're getting a clear understanding of exactly, what's happening, when we take the medication and how our body is going, to respond and all this, that, and the third. So now, what about when instead of like a medication, what about an allergic reaction? So maybe you have people who are taking medications and the skin and the hair, everything is just reacting real kind of funky. I know that's not necessarily medication per se, but sometimes medications do have these adverse, reactions, allergic reactions. So the difference between an allergic reaction and then as opposed to a side effect, I guess that's what I'm asking.
Good question.
Okay.
A med may be good for your blood pressure, right? But it's not good for your eyesight, because it restricts the blood vessels in your retina or some sort, right, in your eye socket. So a side effect is when you download something onto your hard drive and your RAM doesn't like it. And so you got to make a decision. Okay, so which one do I, which one I want? Because you have to remember, I know we use the word discrimination in terms of we don't like it, but we hope our immune systems discriminate. We do. You know what I mean? It's just like discrimination takes on a very positive word when it comes to
discriminating taste right now. Use it.
However, the difference between a anaphylactic kind of body reaction is a foreign invader, and your body has antibodies. Oh, I couldn't think of the word. It has antibodies. And so it has already people sitting over there, but that's the EMS. That's EMS right there. Okay, I need people to come here, and I'm talking about the body is so intelligent. I mean, I'm quite fascinated because I'm a nerd. I'm a nerdo like that, but it already has a set because everyone has cancer cells already. The point is the level of oxidative stress. And the body is always trying to keep you healthy. It is always trying to keep you your pH balance. It is always trying to keep your insulin. And that is why people will, one of the things they'll say, starve a cold or starve cancer or starve this or
starve a cold, feed a fever.
Right. Because it takes a lot of resources when you eat. It just takes a lot. And then, of course, it could be it's always fighting invaders, or I don't like that, or MSG, or some kind of other craziness, and then you become allergic, and then you have these reactions. But it's your immune system.
Wow.
And how when you feel sick, you're actually probably over it. It's the aftermath now that the immune system is taking over and dealing with it. And so something gets caught here in your nasal passage before the body says, I don't want it to get to what? Your throat. And then because what's in between your throat and what's your throat is the go-between before your lungs.
Yeah.
And so what does it do? It creates mucus. So it wants to govern and hold all of that germ, and it deploys the histamine, and then you get the snot, because the snot is trying to keep it confined because it doesn't want it to drip. Because whatever
Wow.
your nose, it drips to your throat, and then you get a sore throat because your tonsils now have been told go to work, and now you get a sore throat, and you think but the sore throat is the body's medicine. I know it's weird because you're like, think you're sick. No, it's your body reacting to what is wrong.
Wow.
You interpret it as sick. Right.
Woo, 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 girl. Woo, this girl is on fire. Hey, everybody in this chat quiet in the mud, okay? They over here like, good, googly, muggly, that girl is smart. That's why I be keeping company with Cheryl, because she knows a lot, but I hope you guys...
Me and my dad used to talk about it all day.
We could do a whole podcast just on the immune system, because I think there's a lot more to be understood. And so what we want you guys to walk away from tonight is, number one, don't underestimate your role as a technician behind the chair, whether you're a cosmetologist, a barber, an esthetician, nail technician. Remember, she started it off at the beginning of the podcast, is that our skin, our nails, our hair, it's there as a line of defense to give us those signs. And the body is very sophisticated, and it's going to be very discriminating in what it's going to keep and kick off. And so the hair and the fingernails and the eyelashes, the eyebrows, the acne, that's going to have to do its part, because remember, the body is saying, I don't need that. And so, but for the most part, that's not always the case. Sometimes, and maybe most of the time, and then maybe not. But if you can have your hair, we can help you. It is our job to not play doctor over your head and have that discriminating taste, just like your body does when we're talking about trying to help you out. And remember, our book of the month is Louise Hay. Now, remember, I call this a school of thought. So let's just take, for example, acne. So now remember, in this book, Louise Hay, Heal Your Body, she's talking about sometimes it's not, like Cheryl said, by the time you start, like, oh, I feel sick. Now the immune system has already done its work. Okay. That's just the aftermath, right? So let's take acne, for example. All right. So in the book, you've got the symptom and you have the stinking thinking. So acne is the symptom, right? And the stinking thinking is not accepting the self, dislike of the self. So sometimes if you just can't seem to figure out, well, I'm eating everything, I'm exercising, I'm drinking out of my water, I'm doing everything right, but I continue to have acne. Maybe, just maybe, it's your stinking thinking. All right. So this is Louise Hay's book. I find this to be 100% true. And then she has an affirmation in the other column that you can use. This book retails, guys, seriously, it's under $10. There is no reason, and this comes in ebook too, by the way. So there's no reason why you cannot. And it can fit like in your purse. It can sit at your station, or if you have a bookshelf in your hair salon or your barbershop. Wonderful to leave, maybe right on it like we do, so your customers don't steal it. But if they do, get another one because it's so cheap. Maybe you can sell them too, by the way. It's very affordable. Okay. We'll probably, Chrissy, maybe order a few. We should sell some of these. It's a wonderful book. It's called Louise Hay. This actually I didn't know this, Cheryl, but it actually made New York Times bestseller. Okay. This little tiny book, okay, for under $10 made New York Times bestseller. So check it out. We're going to be back next week. Cheryl, what's your friend's name? Who's the barber to the stars? I forgot to ask you.
Kenyatta Griggs.
Okay, so we are going to be.
Y'all look him up. He's a bad brother.
Okay, his name is. Hold on, let me write his name right quick. He's going to be on the show. Kenyatta. Kenyatta.
Yep.
And this is Griggs, Griggs.
Absolutely. Hip hop motivation on Instagram.
Okay. Hip hop motivator. Now we are going to have him on next week. And we're going to talk about, we're going to get his take on exactly what is professional hair. Now, this is a great way to end out the month of May, which is Mental Health Awareness Month. And we have had some wonderful, wonderful discussions about issues connected to your mental health and your physical health, as we did tonight, where we had a wonderful in-depth discussion about medication and hair. So Kenyatta Griggs is going to join us next Thursday. Our book of the month again is Heal Your Body. We're going to be back Monday on the dumbest that people say about black hair, talking about convalescent hair care, how to take care of grandmas and nanas and our mature people. How do we take care of that hair as we get older? That's really, really a big concern. And you guys have been wonderful in the chat. Thanks for hitting that thumbs up button. We appreciate you. By the way, can you guys please take the advice of Vaughn, the beautician, that said she says get more education, and be on the lookout again for the Afro Hair Science Summit in 2024. It's coming up. Now remember, you can email us at afrohairscience@gmail.com. Again, email us at afrohairscience@gmail.com, so you can be on the pulse of any and everything Afro hair science, including the textured hair science bill that Cheryl and I are working on as we speak. And so thank you so much, Vaughn the beautician, for pushing education. We got to stop with all this pseudo stuff. Please go. I'm going to drop the link to the pseudo killers discussion about the unconscious community and the dangers of misinformation. This is why we're here every week. Cheryl, close us out with a wonderful school of thought about keeping it 100 versus being fake and pretending to be something that you're not.
Well,
Especially when it comes to
I want to just on the closing out the Louise Hayes. I thoroughly enjoyed her presence. She's from San Diego, by the way. Where she was. I met her a few times. Because she was also another colleague, friend of mine, Dr. Jean Marat, which is Haitian gynecologist here in San Diego. Absolute wonderful. Next time you come, Ladosha, I will take you to meet Dr. Jean Marat. Absolutely fascinating. She was a publisher under Louise Hay. But I will say that the importance of what I think what Louise Hay was trying to say, the greatest message and communicator of stinking thinking is yourself. And guess who hears your negativity and your self-talk, your negative self-talk? 1 billion cells. And a cell phone is a sound. Phone is receiver of sound. And you have billions of what? Cell phones inside of you. And that stinking thinking is important. And that is why, to me, mental health in dealing with any hair condition, any low self-esteem, any hair decision that beauty professionals are in charge of, the messaging, the inner dialogue, the inner talk is so important. And that is part of, I think, the greatest instrument of any healing. So no matter what medication we can't prescribe, doesn't matter. The best prescription is good counsel and good talk and good comforting optimism and encouragement from beauty professionals as we work with your doctors and our specialist partners in our salons. And so just be very good, be very good companions of your clients, and you guys are in it together and partners to make sure that they have a good recovery process. So that's all.
That's absolutely beautiful. So again, I just want to say happy birthday To my best friend of 44 years, Chris Coleman. There we are at 11 years old. My cousin said that to us. Well, actually, we're out to dinner, and so happy birthday! You're a wonderful friend, and she is the epitome of
Yeah. She drove me
positive.
to the airport.
Yeah.
Slow as I don't know what. We just a talking.
Well, not shut up, Christiana, because I am call me but anywho, so happy birthday, Chrissy. I love you very, very much. You guys have a wonderful week. Let me tell you something. Y'all rock this whole show. Nobody left the chat. I mean, everybody
Love
stayed.
y'all. Love y'all. We got to get
Yeah,
that
and
real information. Be
man, you guys, don't forget
right
to like, share, and subscribe. You guys are totally awesome. Latanya, thank you so much for joining us. Every single person in the chat. We really appreciate you guys for helping us change the narrative tonight about medication and hair and just how we all are in this together. Remember, watch what you think. So now we're going to go ahead on and close it out. And just remember what my mom just always tells us,
and
right?
make sure before you do that,
Uh-huh.
email us. We need your email so we can, because we have a newsletter and we want your email.
All right. So let me make sure I put that banner back up there. Let me just show that again. Afro Hair Science. All right. So now we're going to go ahead and close out with what my mom, she will always say to us. All right. Good, better, best. Never let it rest until your good is better and your better is best. We'll see you Monday at 6:00, and then back here on Thursday with Mr. Kenyatta Griggs as we discuss what the hell is professional or unprofessional hair. Thanks, guys. Have a wonderful night.
You are so dumb. You are really dumb.